There is a U.S. Navy ship that is the size of a small aircraft carrier. It is operated mostly by civilians. It carries almost no weapons. It is named after a Marine. And it was built from the design of an oil tanker. The ship is called an Expeditionary Sea Base. The class is officially the Lewis B. Puller class. The lead ship, USS Lewis B. Puller, was commissioned in August of 2017. She is 233 meters long. She displaces approximately 90,000 long tons fully loaded, comparable to a Nimitz-class supercarrier. She cost roughly $650 million to build. 6 ships in total have been ordered. 4 are in active service. 2 more are under construction right now. Most civilians have never heard of them. The following are 5 surprising facts about this class of ships. Facts that even people who follow the U.S. Navy often do not know. The most surprising one is at the end. What do you think is the most surprising fact about modern U.S. Navy ships? Drop your answer in the comments below. Your answer might already be on this list. Most people assume U.S. Navy ships fit one of 3 categories. Carriers project air power. Destroyers fight surface and air threats. Submarines hide. The Expeditionary Sea Base fits none of those categories. It is a separate kind of warship designed not to fight, but to enable other people to fight anywhere on Earth. The class is named after the legendary Marine Corps Lieutenant General Lewis B. Puller, nicknamed Chesty Puller. The lead ship was commissioned in August of 2017 at Naval Support Activity Bahrain. 3 more sister ships have entered service since then. The most recent, USS John L. Canley, was commissioned in February of 2024. 2 more are being built at General Dynamics NASSCO in San Diego, California. The Navy plans to operate all 6 well into the 2050s. We are counting down 5 surprising facts about this class, from number 5 to number 1. By the end of this video, you will understand why these ships are one of the most strategically important and least discussed assets in the modern U.S. Navy. Most people assume warships are designed from scratch by naval engineers. ESB ships are not. They are built on the hull form of a commercial crude oil tanker. The design is based on the Alaska-class tanker, built by NASSCO in San Diego in the early 2000s for transporting crude oil from the north slope of Alaska to West Coast refineries. 4 of those commercial tankers were constructed: the Alaskan Frontier, the Alaskan Explorer, the Alaskan Navigator, and the Alaskan Legend. Each had a deadweight tonnage of roughly 185,000 tons. They were double-hulled, as required by the Oil Pollution Act of 1990. When the U.S. Navy needed a flexible auxiliary platform for forward operations, NASSCO did not start over. They took the same Alaska-class hull design, modified the internal structure, replaced the cargo tanks with a 4-spot flight deck above and a flexible mission deck below, and turned it into a mobile landing platform. The program later evolved into the Expeditionary Sea Base. The cost savings were enormous. A Ford-class supercarrier costs approximately $13.3 billion to build. An ESB costs approximately $650 million. The Navy gets a ship the size of a small aircraft carrier for roughly 1/20th the price, in part by starting from a commercial tanker design instead of a warship blueprint. That is fact number 5. It is only the beginning. Most people assume warships are run by uniformed sailors. ESB ships are not. The majority of the crew aboard a Lewis B. Puller class ship is civilian. The ships are operated by Military Sealift Command, a uniformed civilian service that runs most of the U.S. Navy's auxiliary fleet. Civilian mariners from MSCC handle the day-to-day operation of the vessel, navigation, propulsion, engineering, food service, and shipboard maintenance. They are merchant mariners, paid under merchant marine pay scales, and follow merchant marine labor rules rather than Navy regulations. On top of those civilian mariners, a Navy contingent handles the mission systems, flight operations, weapons, communications, and security. Then, depending on the deployment, up to 250 embarked military personnel come aboard for specific missions. Special operations teams, mine countermeasures squadrons, helicopter detachments. Before we look at the next surprising fact, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so we can keep going. The hybrid crew model is unusual. It allows the Navy to operate large auxiliary ships at lower personnel cost. Civilian mariners are cheaper to employ than uniformed sailors over the long term, and they operate under different deployment rules. The result is a ship that the Navy can keep at sea longer with a smaller uniformed crew for less money. The trade-off is operational. In combat operations, command authority and procedural rules shift to accommodate the mixed status crew. The ship is a hybrid by design. That is fact number 4. Most people assume a 90,000-ton U.S. Navy ship would be bristling with weapons. The Lewis B. Puller is not. The entire defensive armament of an Expeditionary Sea Base, or ESB, consists of 1250 caliber machine gun stations. Heavy machine guns. That is the complete weapons fit. No missiles, no vertical launch cells, no main guns, no close-in weapon system, no torpedoes, no anti-aircraft missiles. For comparison, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, the workhorse of the modern surface fleet, carries 96 vertical launch missile cells, a 5-inch deck gun, a phalanx close-in weapon system, and torpedoes. The Lewis B. Puller has none of that. This is not an oversight. It is by design. The ESB is built to be useful in low-intensity environments, not to survive in high-intensity combat. In a contested zone, it depends on escort ships for protection. The Puller does not go into harm's way alone. She operates in regions where the threat profile is asymmetric, such as small craft, drones, mines, and hostile non-state actors, not where she would face a peer Navy. The minimal armament is also part of what enables the lower cost and the larger interior space. Every cubic meter inside the hull that does not contain missiles or magazines is a cubic meter that can hold helicopters, vehicles, embarked personnel, or mission equipment. That is fact number 3. Would you put a $650 million ship in a war zone with only 12 machine guns to defend it? Tell us in the comments. Most people assume U.S. Navy ships are named after Navy heroes or geographic features. ESB ships are not. Every single ship in the Lewis B. Puller class is named after a United States Marine. The lead ship, USS Lewis B. Puller, is named after Marine Corps Lieutenant General Lewis B. Chesty Puller. He earned 5 Navy Crosses across 3 wars: the Banana Wars, the Second World War, and the Korean War. He remains the most decorated Marine in history. The second ship, USS Herschel Woody Williams, is named after the Marine corporal who received the Medal of Honor for actions at Iwo Jima on February 23, 1945. The third, USS Miguel Keith, is named after the Marine Lance Corporal who received the Medal of Honor posthumously for actions in Quang Ngai Province, Vietnam, on May 8, 1970. The fourth, USS John L. Canley, is named after the Marine Gunnery Sergeant who received the Medal of Honor for the Battle of Hue in 1968. The fifth, USS Robert E. Simonek, is named after the Marine Private First Class who received the Medal of Honor at Outpost Irene in Korea in 1952. The sixth, USS Hector A. Cafferata, Jr., is named after the Marine private who received the Medal of Honor at the Chosin Reservoir in Korea in 1950. 5 Medal of Honor recipients. 1 Marine with 5 Navy Crosses. All 6 are Marines. all 6 were honored for actions at close range. The naming pattern is not an accident. Most people assume that for the United States to maintain a military presence somewhere in the world, it needs that country's agreement. For traditional bases, this is true. The United States operates an estimated 700 to 750 military installations in foreign countries, and every single one of them depends on a treaty or arrangement that can be modified, restricted, or revoked. American bases have been closed in Saudi Arabia. They have been reduced in Iraq. They have been renegotiated in Germany, in Korea, in the Philippines, and in dozens of other places. The political cost of maintaining foreign bases has been rising for decades. The Expeditionary Sea Base eliminates that constraint entirely. The reason is simple. 12 nautical miles from any coast is where every country's territorial waters end. Beyond that line, under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, every nation's vessels have freedom of navigation. No host country's permission is required. No diplomatic agreement applies. As long as an expeditionary sea base stays in international waters, it can remain in a region indefinitely. It can support operations on shore, but it does not depend on any onshore facility for its own existence. The base does not stay still. If the political situation in a region changes, the ship moves. At roughly 15 knots, it can reposition itself across an entire ocean basin in a matter of weeks. This means the United States, alone among the nations of the world, can place a self-sustaining military base in any ocean on Earth, in the Persian Gulf, off the coast of Africa, in the Indian Ocean, near Southeast Asia, without negotiating with any government. Other navies operate amphibious ships. No other navy operates anything quite like the Expeditionary Sea Base. That is fact number 1. And that is what allows the United States, alone among nations, to maintain a military presence in every ocean on Earth without ever asking permission from anyone. A hull built from the design of an oil tanker. A crew operated mostly by civilians. Almost no weapons. Names that honor United States Marines. And the ability to operate anywhere on Earth without asking permission. 5 facts. 5 things that most viewers had never been told about a class of ships that already exists, already deploys, and already shapes how the United States projects military power. The first Expeditionary Sea Base was commissioned in 2017. The most recent in 2024. 2 more are under construction at NASCO in San Diego right now. They will continue to do what they do, quietly, far from home for as long as the U.S. Navy needs them. The civilian mariners who run these ships, the Navy crews who operate the mission systems, the embarked Special Operations Forces who deploy from them, and the Marines whose names the ships carry are all part of what makes the class work. None of them will appear in a Hollywood movie. None of them will be on a magazine cover. Which of these 5 facts surprised you the most? Tell us in the comments below. If this video gave you a new respect for one of the most strategically important and least discussed assets in the modern U.S. Navy, hit the like button right now and subscribe to the channel so you never miss what we cover next. We will see you in the next one.